Well, hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me this week. As promised, we are starting our Airwolf helicopter build, and today is going to be the unboxing. So just to let you know, what we plan to do is we're going to go ahead and show you what's in the box. For next week's video, what we're going to do is wash all the pieces, get them ready, and probably prime them as well, and start building next week. But before priming, I do want to, as far as with paint, I do want to try to get as many of the pieces that I can get glued together so that the plastic is pretty clear of paint. The pieces that need to be glued together are clear of paint before we paint over them. But we'll see how that goes. As for now, this right here in front of you is a time capsule. It is a 1984 model kit. The actual the actual copyright from Universal City Studios is 1984, the Ertl Company. And this helicopter from Airwolf is a classic that many of us grew up with. This is the 148 model kit. Let's go ahead and open this kit and see what's inside. Now, as you open it, the box itself is kind of messed up because it's such an old box. And this is the way it came to me. So let's see. All right, right away, it looks like this has been repackaged, although I'm not sure. But to me, the way the packaging is, it kind of seems to be repackaged, meaning that the person who packaged this opened it, got all the pieces out, and then repackaged it. Now, I may be wrong about this. This just may be the way they packaged model kits back in 1984. To be honest, I can't remember. If you remember, let me know. But everything's molded and looks like a dark gray here. And there are some loose, clear pieces here. This looks like the front windshield. Yes, it is. And it does have some windshield wipers right at the... right there. I don't know if you can see them on video, but there's some windshield wipers molded into this clear plastic. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge if I'm going to paint that. The middle section here is also molded into this clear plastic. So again, this is going to be quite a challenge. I'm probably going to have to use some masking tape to kind of cut off all the other pieces here and all that. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Obviously, here are the other little pieces, and it looks like these are the windows for the rest of the chopper. Thankfully, they're clear. So definitely, since we're using these clear pieces here, we are definitely going to look at using the canopy glue for these clear pieces, only because canopy glue does dry clear, and it helps you when you're doing this kind of work. Wow, look at this. We'll get to this in just a second. All right, so let me put this aside and get to this. Let's open this up. Boy, I feel like I shouldn't open it since it's from 1984, but I'm going to go ahead and open it since we're going to build this kit. Let's do it. All right, so as we open this, there's some little parts here that you want to make sure you're not missing. But yeah, this is the plastic. I'm moving that out of the way. All right, look at all the rivets on the body of the ship here. Lots of little rivets going back and forth on the body of the ship. Really pretty molding here. It really is. I'm going to have to test fit this, I think, once I finish cleaning it up. I think we'll do that before we glue everything together. We'll just start test fitting. Even now, you can kind of do that even though it's still on the sprues, but there may be some putty work that needs to be done on some of these pieces as well. But let's see here. It's a little test fit. Yeah, look at that. Definitely not going to paint this first. I think I'm going to use the glue on this to make sure all the plastic fits together. But obviously, I'm going to have to try this without the sprues on. But the test fit initially looks okay. There's some seaming issues here, but we'll take a look at it when we continue the build in other pieces or other parts of the series. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, here the chopper blade right here needs to be painted. And I don't see any warping yet that I can tell from that meets my eye. So this looks good so far. Lots of what they call flange or flashing, should I say, on this kit. Lots of flashing that's going to need to be removed as we take these parts off. This is the floor of the cockpit there, it looks like. So yeah, it looks good so far, except for the flashing. All right, some more little pieces here that go on the helicopter, and here are the gun turrets, it looks like, right here, that go on the front of the chopper. So that looks good. More flash here and there, but nothing that seems too wacky, too out of the way. Well, maybe this right here. But we'll take care of that. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And of course, here are the sides of the chopper. I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly where it goes, but I think it's something like this, right? Yeah. So we will get to that when the time comes. Yeah, I think it's something like that, and we'll get to that when the time comes. Boy, it looks to me like you can do either the Airwolf helicopter or the regular Bell model helicopter. Let's take a look at the instructions and find that out. So we got some wheels here that are loose. I'm going to have to go through the instructions and make sure that I have all the pieces, because these look like they belonged on the sprue and came off, and I'm hoping that we have everything that we need here. All right, so let's put all these things up. And as you can see, lots of little pieces here, lots of flash. Very exciting build. I'm looking forward to it. Let's put that up. Okay, and let's look at the instructions here. Just kind of go through that. As you can tell, the instruction kit, the instruction set is yellowed because of time. So this is definitely 1984 here. Subscribe to the Blueprinter, 1984 for sure. $8 for 1 year. There you go. Jan Michael Vincent, look at that classic look. Okay, this kind of comes out. It is very yellowed. This is the AMT assembly instructions, and kind of explains what you should be doing here. Some advanced building tips for the best possible finish. You should paint your model even if it is molded in color. And that, my friends, is definitely a must for all of us model builders. We never want to leave it in the molded color. We definitely want to paint it, because we're preparing the surface for those decals to go on. So definitely want to paint that. These are step-by-step 1984 instructions. So we're starting with the platform inside the model kit, and it looks like we're moving to the outside, to the propellers, and to the ship itself, to the helicopter itself. And let's see here, Airwolf final assembly, Airwolf assembly. Oh yeah, look at this. Here you go. So there are two options on this build. Interesting. So you can either build and paint Airwolf, or you can build, paint, and decal the Bell 222B twin. Interesting, yeah. And you can see very clearly here the two windows, and those two windows are kind of covered up with Airwolf to make way for the jets on the Airwolf helicopter. Jets on a helicopter, my friends. Who would have thought of that? Jets on a helicopter. How practical is that, right? All right, so really excited to get started on this. We're going to get started on this with next week's video. Thank you again for joining me. Any of you have any tips or tricks? I'd appreciate any comments. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again soon, my friends. Have a great week.